rear abutter is kind of that commercial property,
Yes, sir.
right? Your other neighbors got a pool, and I'm assuming the neighbors to the left and the right are on board.
Yeah, actually, I submitted some letters of,
Yeah.
that they're on board as well.
Yeah, I'm good.
So do you have the letters?
I'm all set.
Just had a couple of questions.
Shoot.
What is that commercial building behind?
It's actually under lease right now, so I don't know what's in there right now. It's vacant, as I know.
Vegas.
It's just a winner.
I think it's completely empty, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about that, but somebody bought it within the last couple of years.
The sign's still up for lease, so I don't know if it's, but I don't think it's occupied.
Okay. Sorry, too much paperwork in front of me.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, no, I have them
Yeah,
right here.
they weren't in my packet.
I've got them here if
Jeremy
you need
just
them.
showed me.
Okay, now I have them, thanks.
Are you missing the letters? I have some extra copies.
Yeah, I just have to read them in the record, so I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. I've got them in there as well.
Jeremy's. Yes.
So before we open this up to the public, I'm gonna read these into the record, and then we'll see if there's anybody here to speak for or against. All right, so the first one is from Jeanette Bowler, 28 Leopold Street. Says, "I am a neighbor of the Campagnes and fully support the variance being granted for Sherry and Ronnie at 30 Arthur Woods Ave. I think a pool facility would be a beautiful addition to their yard, would not be an issue with the neighborhood at all. The next one is from Kathy O'Neill for 31 Arthur Woods Ave. Writing to you in support of Ron and Sherry, 30 Arthur Woods Ave. They are applying for a variance to further improve their recently installed gorgeous pool area. Since the Pioneers moved to Burlington in 1996, they have made significant improvements to their property. Some of the improvements include tearing down the original house built in the 1950s and constructing a beautiful new home and upgrading all the landscape. Additionally, they have added a new retaining wall and fences over the years. Their property is meticulously maintained. You cannot ask for better neighbors and residents in this town. As they continue to improve their property, they have the support of our neighborhood and requesting this variance be approved. Please grant this request and allow them to enjoy their property as they have always been mindful of their neighbors in their town." So with that, we're gonna open this up to the public hearing, to the public. Is there anybody here to speak for or against this, application? If you can come up and sit next to the mic and, introduce yourself. Okay. Seeing none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any more discussion from the board?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 30 Arthur Woods Ave
Second?
as for a sideline variance of 14.7 feet and a back set variance of 3 feet on plot plan dated 10/14/22 is submitted.
Second?
Okay, motion has been made and seconded for 30 Arthur Woods Ave to approve a rear setback of 3 feet and a side setback of 14.7 feet as shown on plans submitted with the application dated 10/14/22. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Yes.
All right, the next application to be heard tonight is 12 Shea Circle. Everyone who's here, you can talk to the mic, introduce yourselves.
Yeah, this is a new hearing for 12 Shea Circle, petition of Thomas Murphy Jr. Esquire on behalf of the applicants William and Sandra Mello for property located at 12 Shea Circle. The applicants are seeking a variance to construct an addition for use as a garage on the ground floor with living space, bedroom, and bathroom above. Proposed addition is in violation of zoning bylaws, Article 5, Section 5.2.0, density regulation schedule. Proposed new addition location on the right side setback will be 5.9 feet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thomas Murphy here on behalf of Bill Mello, who's at the table with me. Bill's folks are in the audience.
Good evening.
By way of background, the Mellos have been living down on Shea Circle since 1977. Bill grew up there. Has since moved to Billerica, but he's going to be moving back, or hopefully moving back to the family house. What this is about is he's looking to put an addition on his parents' house with a garage with under and on top. There'll be a bedroom, a bathroom, and a sitting room area. He's just gone through a divorce. He lives in Billerica. He wants to have space, his kids can go to visit, and when he has them. So that's kind of the plan, and that's the motivation for what you have before you. As you can see from the plan that was submitted with the application, the garage addition area as proposed would be about 4.9 feet away from the side yard boundary. As the board knows, 15 feet is what's required under the bylaw. So we're looking for a variance, allowing a variance down to 4.9 feet for the side setback. Going through the statute, I would submit that there is a situation that's applicable only to this lot, that is not applicable to the district as a whole, which causes a hardship. Namely, as you can see in the plan, there's a water easement that comes along the southerly boundary of the lot, and then cuts to the right and goes along the back boundary of the lot as well. From what I understand, when the town put Daniel Drive in, they had to loop the water line through because to cut the Shea Circle back out to Washington Street. So that's a water easement put in by the town, and there's water lines under there. So clearly, we can't build over the easement. So if we're going to put this addition on, it can only go on the side where it's proposed. And that unfortunately brings us too close to the property line. The other two items, as far as the statute is concerned, there's no derogation to the public good. I would submit that allowing somebody to build a garage addition onto their house does not in any way derogate from the public good. Submit it helps the public good a little bit because it allows Mr. Bill Mello to come home and help his parents moving forward as everybody gets older. It also doesn't derogate from the intent of the bylaw. The purpose of the side setback bylaw is to make sure there's at least 30 feet between structures to allow for a certain amount of privacy. The house to the immediately adjacent to this on the side of the addition is about 60 feet away. The second photo that you have with you is a street view. The Mello's house is the white one at the end of the cul-de-sac. This addition's going to go right about where the driveway is. And if you look at page 2 of the pictures, it kind of gives you a perspective as to where the neighboring house is. It's around the cul-de-sac and heading back up Shea Circle. So there is, even with the encumbrance on the side within the 15 feet, there's still way more than 30 feet between the structure and the neighboring structure. In addition, one of the letters in support that I gave you is from that immediately adjacent neighbor. So, Mr. Chairman, that's basically the gist of the request, the reasons behind it. Mr. Mello hopes to get the board's approval so he can move forward with the addition and get his young family settled in their new house. So we're happy to answer any questions or address any concerns.
All right, thank you very much. John?
Yeah. So I went by the other day and was looking at it. I agree with most everything here, but I just wanna talk about that line on the right-hand side a little bit. Just to the right of your driveway, you got those orange stakes sticking in the ground. Is that the property line?
That is the property line.
Because it looks like the property line goes up to that fence line in the woods from the street. So I knew that if you said to me that that was gonna be the property line, then I'm not gonna have a problem with this, because even with this addition here, it's not gonna change the density around.
Right.
Because it's only gonna come out to just over the edge of the driveway.
Sure.
So, and that's the only part I had a problem with, so, I'm good.
Joe?
The only thing I have is our agenda says 5.9, and they're gonna be at 4.9. They have two different dimensions. I think you wanna use the 4.9 number.
That was to allow for the roof overhang,
Yeah,
4.9.
Well, you can't do that now, you'd have to do that.
yeah, so we got 5.9 on the application.
The application,
It says five.
the application,
It says 5.9 on the
the application requests 4.9. Here's the,
Let me see which one I pulled up. Variance application, version 2.
How was it advertised?
I just read it in, didn't I?
Yeah, you just read in the 5.9.
Says 5.9 on the,
There's an updated one, and it says 4.9, including the roof line.
That's one of the one I emailed Mark. and-
Yeah, there was two applications and an updated one as the 14th of November.
what did Mark say when,
Mark, when
5.9.
he emailed me back, he said it was 5.9.
said it was 5.9?
I think in his letter, when he had seen the proposed, we had to get the letter from him when we sent it over. And his opinion was it was 5.9 because I don't think he counts the overhang. The builder suggested counting the overhang just because I don't think he was quite sure as how the town treats it. I think Mark was looking at the same plan as we did, and he put 5.9 in his opinion, but in my application, I requested 4.9 just to kind of be on the safe side.
And the overhang doesn't count anyways.
Right, so I think that's the discrepancy.
It's unconditional,
It's what?
unconditional space.
Jeez, as far as I knew, we always counted.
Well, that's why, I've heard both ways, and so I figured
I
better
think if
safe
you
than
got a 2-foot overhang, you gotta, I think that's where they come into play. But a 1 foot is your average ventilation, and,
So in any event, Mr. Chairman,
Verification, right?
Yeah.
Neighbors.
Yeah, so in the inspector's denial letter, it does state it's 5.9.
right, but on the plan, there is a 4.9 designation on the plan, and in my application,
Yeah.
I requested a variance of 4.9 just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it looks like it was advertised at 5.9. So, I mean, we have one of two options. We see how it goes at 5.9, and then Mark still has to issue the permit. But if he doesn't, then you'd have to go through this whole process again, or we could possibly continue it and then get some clarification from Mark on exactly what it's supposed to be, and then bring it back. Well, I think before we get to that point, let's just have the board kind of comment in general and just see where we're gonna go with this, and we can think about it for a minute.
I'm all set.
Okay.
I have no questions.
My questions have been answered.
Yeah, I have no questions either.
Rob?
Negative.
No, I don't really have any questions either. I think that it's probably so tight to the side, I imagine that whatever is a 10 Shea circle probably needed 100 feet. That's why they had to kind of push it out, but, so I don't really have a problem with it. They're gonna be pretty far away. Pretty far away from the neighbor. Before we get back,
I actually remeasured it So it's 100 feet from the nearest structure, according to Mass Mapper, so.
Yeah, I hadn't accounted for the setback, so.
All right, so let's open to the public. For a minute, I have a couple that I need to read into the record. Then I think we can leave it open and discuss about what we want to do with the way it was advertised. So before I open to the public, I'm going to read these into the record. This one is from Michelle Gillette and Mark Wright, 10 Shea Circle. They're in favor of the variance request of 12 Shea Circle. Next one is from Jim and Pat Kilalia, 5 Shea Circle. They're in favor of the variance request for 12 Shea Circle. And last one is Stephen and Tarsha Benevento of 7 Shea Circle. They are in favor of the variance request for 12 Shea Circle.
Was number 10 one of them?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the person closest to it.
Right, that's the neighbor.
That's the abutter.
So it's the public hearing. If there's anybody here to speak for or against it, you can come up to microphones. Assume that. Okay, seeing none, I'm going to leave it open right now so we can have a discussion about how we want to move forward. Does anybody have any comments?
Well, it's kind of gray area, you know, I think this town doesn't take the overhangs into play. I think it's just foundation only.
I think so, too. I thought I had an email, but I don't think I do, no, from Mark on
If
this.
that was the case, then, you know, we said 5.9 reading in the record, but
Right, so I've been on the board for 10 years. I think I've always kind of taken into account all of the overhang, so that's where I'm a little confused. I know that, you know.
yeah, all plot plans are foundation only, certified plot. You know, you gotta certify your foundation and whatever you build with your overhangs and your, you know,
What's the most allowed overhang?
2 feet, I think it is.
2 feet? Because I know we've done them for 5-foot overhangs,
Yeah,
just for a porch.
Well,
Just for
anything
an
over the
entry.
double dimension of your dimensional lumber, you need a support, so. It's usually 18, 20 inches,
You
then
can
you
only go
gotta,
so
then you
far.
gotta do a support, then you actually got a, you know, a porch roof, so.
Okay, yeah, so,
In Burlington, just foundation only, you have to prove that you're within the setback. So I believe any, you know, blown out rakes or any soffits do not include in any setback. That's how I've been doing.
Could I make a suggestion, maybe, Mr. Chair? If, I mean, obviously, I had asked for 4.9, but it is what it is as we're sitting here. If it was advertised at 5.9, I would, I guess, request that the board vote that, and I will speak to the building inspector. And if he did that erroneously, because if you look at the plan, it marks 5.9 showing where the foundation is, and 4. So he might have just been looking at the wrong one. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, right.
So if it turns out that he meant 4.9, or he wants us to do 4.9, I'll then contact the board and bring a petition for an amendment or something before you. I'll talk to Mark as to how he wants to handle it. But I'd rather get a positive vote here tonight, just to kind of get the project moving, so we can deal with his contractor and get the ball rolling. And if we have to adjust the legalities going forward, we can deal with that.
So you want us to go to 5.9?
I think that's what you have to vote, because that's the way it was noticed.
Fortunately, that's the way it was.
Yeah, so I'd rather do that than postpone to your next meeting and try to talk to somebody about it, because it is what it is. We'll take the 5.9. If Mark agrees that's sufficient, because it's not more than a foot overhang, then we're good to go.
Okay,
If he wants me to come back in and amend it somehow, I'll do that.
okay. Everybody have an issue?
No issue with that.
No issue here.
Okay, so before we ask for a motion or any other comments, we do have to close the public hearing, so we have a
Make
motion.
a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any other comments or motions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 12 Shea Circle for a 5.9-foot sideline variance as advertised
Say 5 or 4?
on plot plan dated 10/28/22.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded for a sideline variance for 12 Shea Circle, 5.9 feet, as shown on plan submitted with application dated 10/28/22. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, thank you, members of the board. I'll let you know what Mark has to say.
All right, we have another hearing on our agenda that has been asked to be withdrawn. It's 9 Spring Valley Road.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Bretta, motion to withdraw 9 Spring Valley Road.
Motion to withdraw 9 Spring Valley Road.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to withdraw 9 Spring Valley Road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next thing is our, do we ever get the November 1st minutes?
The what?
The November 1st minutes?
Yes, I think I did, I made the revision and sent them to you.
Did I send those to everybody else? I don't think I did.
They weren't uploaded to the,
Yeah.
That's-
I think I have to send them, so that's my fault. So I think that we need to continue the November 1st minutes again. So I have a motion to continue the November 1st minutes.
motion to continue the November 1st minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to continue the November 1st minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
So I guess we did actually, I didn't realize, want to vote on the, well, we did have it on the agenda for the 2023 calendar, which I didn't realize. So we can talk about that real quick. So I think, is there a meeting on July 4th, or is that I know the
Tuesday on July 4th, I thought like Kirkland was the holiday on Tuesday, there is no meeting.
Yeah, so
just take a look.
some of this is
Oh,
inaccurate.
some of that's not right, yeah, so let's just take a look at what it is here. So July 4th would be a meeting, and I'm of the opinion that we keep it the way it is and that we don't add another meeting, but I'll take any,
If you just left it the way it is and just don't
I would just leave it the way it is on that one.
accept applications, that
Yep. And then,
be the only ones here.
yeah, right. I'm sure I won't be able to make that one. And the October 31st one that we spoke about earlier is actually not an issue. We won't be meeting that day anyway, that's an erroneous day. So I think the dates that we have, once we update it just to the first and third Tuesdays, I think all those dates will work. We just won't have a meeting on July 4th.
Yeah, way off.
Actually, if you want to send it to me in the Excel spreadsheet, I'll just play around with it a little bit and
Okay.
make sure it's right, all right? And we don't have on the agenda, what was the last meeting we had?
November 15th.
November 21st? That doesn't make any sense. When was the last meeting, do we know?
The last meeting we had, I do not.
21st, that was the week of Thanksgiving.
The 14th. No, sorry, the 15th, right?
Oh, I'm looking at 2023, that's why.
Yeah, it was the 15th.
Okay, so just, we need to put on the agenda for next time, the November 15th meeting minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that one here. There's nothing really to update on the decision of certified mailings yet. I think I have to come up with a couple of ideas for the board to review. I'm going to try to do that before the next meeting. So if there's no other business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We off on the TV?